Okay. Hello, friends, family, followers, all of the above. I'm going to wait a few minutes and start my demonstration. I'm a couple minutes early. In my email out today, I said that I had broken a toe on my foot, and it's because I stubbed it, and I didn't. It's been kind of annoying, but I'm getting along and I'm hopping along, and I got my buffet cards made, so I'm excited about that. And I think I have some fun classes and ideas and different kinds of clubs to bring up starting in July or August. It's not the best time to start those things, I realize, because it is a summer and it's summer in Minnesota. So September probably is more realistic. But I think it'll be appealing to a lot of you that have it, had expressed interest in a club. A club is like you get together and one time you get to do the host credit. Well, the host credit's going to change eventually this year, so I don't really know what that means yet. So the unfortunate thing is Stampin' Up hasn't communicated that yet to us. So what I'm doing is thinking out of the box and how I can change this. Kind of like when we went into a pandemic and I had a stream for the first time. And so I'm going to try to kind of cut back on my in-person classes, or maybe I don't know what I'm going to try to do, but I'm just really struggling to keep going with everything because there's so much change. But that's okay. Change is good. I love it. Okay, so it is officially 6 o'clock and it is Tuesday, June 11th. 2024. How'd we get here? I'm not sure. I am Leanne Furness. I'm an independent demonstrator from Rochester, Minnesota. Sorry to shake the table. I've been a demonstrator for 24 years, and so, well, it'll be 24 years. Well, now it is officially 24 years. So I had my stamp anniversary. Didn't make a big deal about it because I was just overwhelmed with life. I am excited to still be doing this. And I only joined for the discount. My team keeps growing and waning and coming and going. But you know what? It's fun to see the excitement. Next week, I'm teaching a beginning stamping class, I believe, at someone's church that they asked me to. And I'm just going to kind of try some different classes, keep the buffet, but try some different classes because, like I said, club things are going to change. So let's go down to my workspace. I really have to figure out how to get my camera, I don't know, so I can see what I'm doing. I don't know, but I don't want to pay money for it. So there's that. Okay, we're going to talk about Stampin' Pastels. Those are what I would call chalk. And Stampin' Up used to sell the chalk in squares in a little tray. It was super messy. They've redone it, and this year they've changed the colors of it. And I have the old set, but we're going to talk about that too. So let's go down to my workspace. Make sure that's all set up. Okay. Okay. Let's make that up a little higher. Woo! Goodness. I'm trying to be sitting because my foot hurts from standing all day, because this may not shock anyone. I was not as well prepared as I thought I could be, but that's okay. I am procrastinating. I'm going to hopefully have a garage sale on July 11th, 1 month from today. 1 month from tomorrow. Okay, this is annoying me. Okay, and it's going to be here at my house, and it's going to be open to customers who want to sell as well. So watch for those details coming. I've decided that I'm going to have emails about different kind of classes, buffet classes, and my lives, just to keep it streaming. I don't know. So if you want to get notifications when I go live, and I might just jump on randomly, you might want to, on my Facebook page, like it or follow me or subscribe on my YouTube channel. And then that way, every time I do something new, because you're probably out enjoying the evening, it will pop up and say, hey, Leanne was live. Watch this kind of thing. Just a reminder. Okay, so in our annual catalog, the pastels are on page 118. Now, I had a customer came the other day, And she was like, I love this catalog. I love this catalog. It made me look at it. It made me like wonder, like what are pretty in pastels? She's like, what are those and what do you do with those? And so I think that there are some really good things about this catalog, even though the layout isn't typical of what we've had. But I think it makes it an opportunity to talk about the tools and how to use them, because those get kind of lost in our catalogs. So today we're going to talk on page 118. I'm going to show you how to paint with water. I'm going to not do any pencils. I'm going to do pretty in pastels. So we're going to paint with water in our pastels, and we're going to do all kinds of fun little things. Okay, so what I want to move this out of my way. Hi, Jeannie. How are you? Glad someone's watching. Well, I don't blame you. I would be outside right now if I could. Two of the stamp sets I'm going to highlight today are online exclusives. Remember how I talk about this? You can't see them in a printed publication, but they are online. We're going to have a whole new slot of online exclusives that are coming in a month. But right now, the Softly Said, which is a wonderful watercolor look, and the Sweetly Scripted are online right now. So if you want the numbers, Sweetly Scripted is 163600 and Softly Said is 162906. You can Google those look at those up on my website. I'm going to post photos, I promise, after this video. So we're going to use these for my greetings because they're larger and they're popping. I have the old soft subtle assortments. So in my email, I had two different subtle assortments shown. Like, this is the old version, and they're on sale at clearance for like $3 something. And then there are the new ones. And so the only difference is that this is Mango Melody, and Mango Melody is no longer a color we have. So they had to obviously switch it. So they added Flirty Flamingo. Do I need to buy that? Maybe, but I just don't know. I'm trying to behave with my buying and not just buy everything, and have a reason for what I'm purchasing. like everybody in the world, right? Like, this is a new concept for me, people. I'm not very good at this. Okay, so our first project is we're going to use the Watercolor World Cling Stamp Set, and you can find that in our annual catalog on page 91. And it's what it says. It's a watercolor thing of our Watercolor World image. Now, one thing you can do with the Stampin' Pastels, which is probably not known or not happened upon or used very often, is you can go directly from your chalk. These are the Stampin' Pastels now, so you can go directly to your stamp pad. Now, I'm going to show you a couple little tricks, but why is there only a few colors? Well, because when you blend colors, it creates different colors, right? Isn't that part of the color wheel? So this is Coastal Cabana. This is Night and Navy. This is Granny Apple Green. I want some of that in there. This is Mossy Meadow. I believe I should double check that. Yep. This is Grape. I'm just trying to give this some kind of fun color. And I might be going over what I've already colored. I don't know. But I'm just going to stop there. I'm going to take this block. This is block E. I'm not sure if that's even around anymore. That's what I'm talking about. There's so much changes. So I'm going to take this piece of cardstock. It's probably 3 3/4 by 5. I don't know. And I'm going to take my Stampin' Spritz tool. These are on page... I had this all written down, and why can't I find it? I think they are on... page 118. Whew, the same place you can find these. All right, so I'm going to move my pastels out of the way. I'm going to squirt, well, I'm going to aim it towards my chalked item. The reason I grabbed this is because I want it to soak up a little bit. And I don't want to get I don't want to start right now with chalky fingers. I'm going to be very chalky. And that, if you think about it, your kids go outside and play sidewalk chalk. Holy moly, they come in dirty, don't they? But it's so fun. All right, so that is the super pastel version of our globe. And then so here's another version I did. The thing is that it's never going to be the same because you're not going to color the same. So here's the finished project. I used the Sweetly Scripted with, Memento ink, and then just did exactly what you saw me do here. The wetter you get it, the different it looks, kind of like what we've talked about with markers, but that's okay. So that's version 1. You can go directly to your stamp and put pastels on there. All right. Version 2 is that you can Versamark. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my chamois. This is not the chamois that you can buy at the moment. This is the chamois that came with my mat, my glass mat, which was only available for demonstrators and those who chose to join Celebration join during Celebration. Okay, so this one is, we're going to do it a little different. Now, Versamark, if you don't know, is a watermark stamp pad. So it's really super juicy. It's going to pick up some of this leftover chalk. If I was doing this for my own and no one, I didn't have to run to another room, I would use like a nail brush and wash that off. But today we're just going to go with it. And so I'm going to go ahead and, hi Chris, go ahead and put Versamark on it. And you can kind of probably see how it's shiny and glistening, which is great. And then I'm going to, now this block is super big. So a lot of times I just leave my background stamps in their case and not even use this block. And I'll show you that in a minute too. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, pull that up, and you're not going to see a thing. The magic of it all, right? And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Pastels and my Take a Pick tool with one of the other tips, and I'm just going to grab different colors. So I'm going to grab the Poppy Parade. Now, wherever the Versamark is, that's going to hold on to this chalk. And you could do this a couple different ways. I will show you a different way on when I use some. Now, you don't want to get too many things because that's how you get black, right? So who wants black? No one wants black. And I can't really tell where I stamped, so I'm just going to be done. And then I'm going to take a clean dauber, and I'm going to move that out of my way. And I'm just going to pounce this chalk into the Versamark. See how that's kind of grabbing it? And the reason I wanted to do the spattering kind of thing is because it just gives it, well, it kind of makes it look like it's, a population map. But this is just a different look than if you smeared it, which I'll show you the difference here in a second. So this is one way to do it. The other way is to, like I just said, smear. So let's do our little Australian here. If I went like this, it kind of gets different colors, right? So you can go back over and add more. Or if you don't want to smear, you could certainly use your blends or your blending brushes, but you can see how it's just going to get more muted and more muted. Now, what do you do with this? You put it over your garbage can, shake it off. Whoop, and then sometimes you have to flick it and then you can go ahead and erase this with a dry towel. But that's super cool. And what I did with the card then is I took that And it's, again, remember, it's never going to be the same. I threw it through the exposed brick embossing folder after I stamped thank you from the Softly Said online exclusive. So that's number 2. So that tells you, okay, so 1, you can just go right directly and get a very pastel-y look. And number 2, you can go with Versamark, which is going to grab that chalk much better than just water. Okay, so we're going to put the Versamark away because I'm going to make a mess here, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm just going to wipe off my mat, my glass mat. Apparently Stampin' Up! Is going to have these available for you to purchase, I believe. I'm not sure when, but that's exciting. Okay, number 3, we're going to do what was called Poppin' Pastels back in the day. Oh, I guess I should talk about this too. This twine is our In Color 2325 jute trim. And so I just thought that looked kind of coppery. And so I kind of want to just kind of put it together. I didn't have a plan, people. I didn't have a plan. Here is the card we're going to make next. Now this is called Poppin' Pastels because see how those pop? Right. I'm going to bring this up so it's close and you can see it has multiple colors. How the heck did I do that? All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this in its case. Now, you could, again, put it on that big hunkin' block, but that big hunkin' block is now dirty and I don't want to use it. Okay. Then you're going to take your craft white. This is our only craft pad we have. It is white and it comes with, you can get a refill. And so it's super juicy. And the reason it's called craft is because it doesn't dry really quick. So it's great for embossing, same as Versamark. It's great for this technique because it's just going to grab on. Now, one reason you may not want it in your case is that when I go wash this, I'm going to, again, put some dish soap on it and use a nail scrubber. It's going to be kind of messy in the case. But you know what? That way, we all know I loved it. I used it. Oh, so let's get the right thing. We're going to get the black. I think this is like 2 and it doesn't matter. 2 3/4 by 3. And I'm going to do kind of the same thing as I did with the Versamark. And I'm just going to get messy and pull this up. Okay, that in itself is pretty cool looking. I don't think it would dry that great. In fact, what I'm going to do quick is put this on here and we'll just see how that dries. Okay, I wanted to try to do that today. Okay, so again, I could do a couple different ways to color. The last time I did the scraping of the pastels. I'm going to grab a note card. You can take chalk and put it on your pad on a piece of scratch paper and then grab your dauber. Oh, it fell. I was like, what happened to the dauber? Apparently my desk is not completely, not completely flat or level. You know, that's my detail, right? All right, well, thankfully my toolbox is right here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this green chalk and dab it on there. Now, the sample I used yellow. I'm going to do some mango that's not available. So I'm going to show you the difference. So this is going to blend. So I'm going to do half this way. And you can kind of do that if you want. You can, it's a personal preference really. Or you can do the scraping like I did before. And I'm going to go ahead and do that over here. And this may be my new favorite technique. I'm just saying. I was like, wow, that does look pretty dang cool. And then I think I put a little bit of Night and navy in there. Oof, that's a terrible sound if you don't like that. Okay, then I took my dauber again, and I kind of just pounced it to keep the multiple colors together from blending, right? Because that is kind of the plan. You could use your finger. You're going to get messy. But if you have a handy dandy wipe or something next to you. All right, and again, you're going to say, what do I do with all of this craziness? You're going to take it to your garbage, shake it off, flick it off. And when you get back, it's still on there. That's awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of just pull off some of this leftover stuff. Okay, so that's what's poppin' Pastels. And then the rest of the card is pretty simple. I kind of did it quickly, and I just stamped that with Granny Apple Green because that's one of the colors in the Pastels. Okay, that was card 2. Let's see, we're going to see. This is still wet. The thing about craft, remember, it doesn't dry real quick, so this is still wet. So that still looks cool if that's the look you want. But one cool thing you can do with Stampin' Pastels is you can color images. So you can make some backgrounds. You can make, like we have, we've used images that look watercolory. And then this is my last card. And this one is actually going to be on my buffet coming up because I thought, well, why not? So let's talk about a couple of the things. I'm going to stamp this first. Now, I'm not going to be putting a lot of water on this. Thinking of You. So what I'm going to do is grab my Thinking of You from the Softly Said stamp set. And it's barely going to fit, but that's perfect. And so then I'm going to go like that. Take my finger off of it and take this, Thinking of You. See, I'm going to use this block because I think the Thinking of You will work better. But because it's so big and I want to make sure I'm inking this well, I'm using Memento for this. And then I'm going to talk about Stays On for another reason. And that's also highlighted on the page where the Stampin' Pastels are. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. Hi, Sue Olive. And I'm going to just pull it off and let that baby dry for a bit. Doesn't really need a long time to dry, but I'm going to let it dry. I'm just going to put that over here out of the way. I'm going to grab my very cute sunflowers from the Cutest Cow set. But I'm going to use my Stays On Jet Black ink to stamp those because I'm going to be watercoloring with them with the aqua painter, if I can find it. And that will just help us not smear so much. Okay, it was here. But then when you don't, okay, there it is. See, it's in my folder. Okay, so remember Stays On is that. It stays on. So if you're going to stamp on something that is not porous, it's going to stay on. So you could use Stays On for plastic bags if you wanted to put happy birthday on them or something. I mean, there's lots of different colors of Stays On available on the market. We have 2, saddle brown. And I think I use that. Oh, that's a bummer. Stays On is really hard to use because it's sticky. And I'm going to hope this one works. Otherwise, we'll just grab another piece of paper because what? It's just paper. Oh, there, I forgot. We got to really go down. It doesn't take long for it to dry. I'm just going to kind of stagger it. All right. So there are our beautiful little sunflowers. Now, the other thing about Stays On is you really should put like a glue dot here so that that stays on your cover, because you don't want to lose this. This will make it dry out. And like your memento, you want to store it upside down. Okay, so then while that's taking a minute, I'm going to move that. Remember, it stays on, requires a different kind of cleaner. So many rules. But it's worth it, because I think that we're going to see the difference here when we do that. Okay, I got to wipe my hands off. Oh my gosh, you're so messy. All right, let's do this. The thinking of you. This is like just what it looks like. I mean, you could do designs. You could do and rainbow. Remember when I did that with the markers? You can just go crazy. I mean, there's really, I was just like, that was too boring. And so I thought, what can I do? Oh, I'm going to put this up there. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of tap off this, and I'm just going to smear it with my fingers, only because my dabber is gone. I don't know where it went though. And because I want my fingers to be really messy, but you just kind of get that blended look. And if you want, and you take a little wet paper towel and wipe off above the thinking of you, it might make it pop. Another thing you could do would be heat emboss this, but I would probably do that after I do the rainbow, and then heat emboss. I just don't like doing heat emboss on videos. Okay, so now let's clean this up. Now we're going to color these sunflowers. So what colors will I use? Watch this little handy dandy thing on my mat. I know I'm kind of going crazy today. So I'm going to use Coastal Cabana. Hopefully you can see that. Coastal Cabana. And then Night of Navy. And then Granny Apple. I'm going to put the chalk over here. Granny Apple. Maybe a little Mossy Meadow. And then I want my sunflower to have more of a brownish inside, right? So how do I do that? I'm going to mix some colors. So I'm going to add Poppy Parade. Remember, brown is really blue and yellow and red together, but I'm going to add Grape and maybe some Daffodil. All right. Oh, and I don't have that. So I'm going to add down here Daffodil. Okay. So then take a pick tool. We're going to do this. Coastal Cabana I probably didn't even need, but that's okay. And then my Night of Navy. I just like this better because it keeps things cleaner than paper. But you can do whatever you want, obviously. Mossy Meadow and Daffodil Delight. And then Art Class 101, I'm going to put Daffodil Delight up there. Poppy Parade. Right now, the reason I would get different blends is because I'm going to break these eventually doing this. Okay, and I'm going to add more Daffodil Delight to my mixing up here. I'm going to pull this down a bit because it looks kind of dark. You can always add more, take away. It's all good. So here's our aqua painter, and why it's called aqua painter is because you take it apart, which is always weird because I think it's backwards to me. Fill it with some water, and then you're going to go ahead. Yes, we do still sell the chalks, Peggy. They are on page 118. There right now is a clearance group that is the older colors, like this, which includes Mango Melody, which is no longer an option. And then the new one has Flirty Flamingo, which will probably add to my grape, my brown a little bit. So I'm going to go down and kind of show you how I'm coloring. And I'm going to go ahead and get the water coming down. And my hands are so chalky. And the good thing about these are that they get stained, but who cares? Because we're going to go ahead and we're just going to wipe them clean. So what I'm doing, let's see, please hold. Let's do this. All right, so I want my blue sky. See how I'm mixing Night of Navy and Daffodil? Coastal Cabana, just because I want it to be super light. And I'm going to just get it really watery because that makes the color less intense. And if you want to try it on a different piece, you can kind of do that. Perfect. So I'm going to go in here, add this blue mixture that I just created on my own and kind of just fill in the sky space. Am I creative? Am I a painter? Good God, no. This is like the most painting I've done in a long time. And I kind of liked it. And remember, this card is going to be on the buffet. So you're going to get 2 techniques with this. You're going to get to try directly onto your cardstock that I did with Thinking of You. And then the aqua painting. And, you could use super thick white or, watercolor paper. It's not that big of a piece. I don't think that really warrants that. And again, I didn't have a lot. So I thought, what can I do? I'm just going to do this. And it's not perfect, and it's not supposed to be perfect. Hello, it's a handmade card, and it's a handmade technique. So I think you get kind of the idea of that. I'm not sure what that little red dot is. Okay. Apparently, I can't stop in the middle. Well, I need to have 2 samples for the buffet anyway, so there's that. So I'm going to go ahead, and the buffet email will be out tomorrow, I believe, is my goal. I will also send out tomorrow my customer garage sale agreement, where if you want to bring some stuff and try to earn some creatively money, that's great. You can. I don't know. I know lots of you have asked about the demonstrator larger garage sale. I don't know if that's happening this year, guys, just because we're getting old and it's tiring and it's exhausting. So I need some young people to get recruited, join my team, and want that. That's what I need. I don't see it happening. Okay, so I'm just going with this. I'm squeezing down the water. I'm just trying to get it a little bit cleaner because I don't want my yellow to be all mucky. And that's the technical term. So you can see how it's getting cleaner. Okay. Well, we're going to go with that. So then I'm going to grab this daffodil and I'm going to add a little bit of water, but I want it to be more intense than my sky, right? So I'm going to go ahead. Oh my gosh, sometimes I think it's my hands are tired. I know, shocking. Okay, so that's a lot of water. And if it's not dark enough, you can add more daffodil. And I'm just going to grab some of the daffodil and I'm going to go and color in. Yeah, I want that to be a little bit more intense. So I'm going to grab this. It's always a way to fix something, right? You don't want to get that marker in there. That would be bad. And I'm kind of going fast, but you get the idea. And I'm going to keep doing my little sun leaves. Now, the thing about if you put it on this mat, and like when I'm done, I can walk away, go have my dinner, and then come back and finish. That's the good thing, right? Okay, so I'm going to keep getting this cleaned off a little bit. Okay, because now we're going to grab Granny Apple Green and a little bit of Mossy Meadow and mix that together because I didn't know if the leaf would be great Granny Apple Greenish or not. Okay, so I'm trying not to get too much water. You can kind of see how it's coming out and blending. And so I'm going to go ahead and do my leaves. And if I think that's too dark, which I do, see, you just never know. I'm winging it here, people. I'm going to add some more Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to grab more of that rather than less. So you know how when you do some painting kind of thing, you got to really stretch your comfort zone. And I knew I wanted an orangey brown, and we didn't have that. So I knew I was going to have to make a color. Now, if you want to add some definition, you can grab the Mossy Meadow alone and put that in there. I mean, you can really spend time and get all futsy-mutsy. I'm not doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to go up here, bring this back down. This is my mixture of Poppy, Parade, Grape, and Daffodil Delight. I'm going to put in a little bit of green because I'm too lazy to wait. Okay, I don't know why it's coming out so hard. All right. That looks really not what I want. I'm going to grab some more daffodil and keep stirring. Oh, that's getting better. So I'm going to add more daffodil. I feel like such an artist when I do this. Okay, because I wanted it a little bit orangey, but not super brown. But I think this would have been super brown, and that would have been okay, right? It's just a different look, but I really wanted something lighter. And I'm going to add a little bit more water so it's not so intense. The reason I use StazOn for this is because StazOn is waterproof. So it's keeping it, if you compare, it's keeping the black stamped image a little bit intense, a little bit more intense, I guess is the word. And I'm going to go like that. And add that. And so you kind of get the idea. So the StazOn black made a difference, right? And it needs to be finished. But you can make this card on the buffet that I'm going to send out tomorrow for some class options. All right. That's it for tonight. Thank you for joining, and I will see you all next week. Not sure what we'll talk about, but we will talk about something. Bye.